Welcome back, guys, to Factorio Recursion. This is episode number 12. This is the episode where we find out how the game handles me running at the speed of light, because I have assembled all the things we need to make the Power Armor Mk3. This is a mod. It's going to extend our grid size from 10 by 10, which is the Power Armor Mk2 grid size, to a 14 by 14. I'm going to go ahead and click craft. I've got some other things made. I've got some fusion batteries, which are from the mod. And I also have some Energy Shield Mark 3s, which are also from the mod. And then Personal Report Mark 2s, which are vanilla, but I've been wanting to upgrade to for a while. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That's the ticket. That is the ticket. Okay, by the way, there are mods for power armors, which are even more ridiculous than this, where you can have like a 20 by 20 or a 30 by 30 grid. That would be obscene. And I'm out. See you later. Okay, let's do another drive-by here, flyby. Oh man, I can... Okay, here's an interesting thing. So, when you use your shotgun, it does slow you down. And normally, you can't really kite the critters fast enough when you're shotgunning. But with this, I can just kind of like run backwards and shoot these guys. Because I'm so fast by default. Okay, let's try to go blow up this larger hive. Yes! Yes! Power! Okay, fun time's over. I am no longer a speedy demon. I am now back to mortal levels of velocity. The base is getting nice and big, and we're filling up the island again. And it's getting a little bit chaotic, so of course it is time to start putting things in factories once again. So we're going to start with an upgraded and more filled out and better thought out uranium ore processing area. We also have enough here to start on the kovarex stuff. So let's go inside the building. So let's just start with an assumption that we'll bring in one blue line of ore. And we don't really need to process that much that fast, I don't think. But let's just, let's go down this path real quick. So we want to, first off, we want to process the uranium ore. That takes 10 seconds, and it takes 10 uranium ore. So these belts will bring 40 items per second. Where was I? I guess I was inside this thing. 40 items per second. So every one of these needs 1 item per second. So with one belt coming in, we could fill up 40 of these, right? Is my math okay? Are you double checking? Do you have your calculators out? Okay, let's just put down a row there. Yeah, like that. And of course, I will be using a blueprint, but we're just laying things out. All right, time skip, update. I did a little tinkering with this design, and I was really unhappy with how much space it was taking up, even though I'm using a mod that gives me infinitely recursionable space. But I wanted to make it more compact, and I thought there would be a way. So here we have a new design, and it even looks kind of cool. We've got these curly Q squiggly doos going like that, and we are going to do our first beacon build. And because we don't have to worry about putting power poles anywhere, we can actually make this pretty compact. We do need to keep in mind we'll need a belt. Let's see. Well, that's still, I think that's still going to hit the dude though, right? You are having a beacon dude from... Yes. Number of effect sources equals 1, so that is hitting it. Awesome. Okay, so this is going to be more compact, and it looks way cooler. It tiles only 2 wide. You can see that this guy going down is tiled boop, boop, right here. This guy going down. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's pick all this up. We're going to do our first beacon build. Oh, exciting. Very exciting. Although I don't know if I have enough modules to do the whole thing. I've got about 60 speed 3s and about 65 productivity 3s. But first thing we will do is lay down as the beacons. I also haven't done any calculations about how this will change how many of the assembly machine things we can... or not assembly machines. What do you call it? Centrifuges? How many of those we can support? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Do a rundown. Like that. Okay, and then we need a blueprint. So let's delete this boring thing and let's blueprint this awesome thing. And if I put one more, that's actually pretty good. Because that's going to... this beacon is going to hit him. He's going to be hit by 4 effect sources. That's pretty good. That's the max number. With all these beacons, we don't need to fill up the row entirely. Okay, jolly good. Lovely. Look at it. It's looking awesome. All right, so then we will have the ore coming in, I guess, right there. We'll need to feed up to there. And we can get rid of all this. This does leave us a lot of room. I guess we can add a second row in the future. I'm not going to put the nuclear reactor in here. But I guess we could, for the time being, we can do our kovarex in here. So once you have 40... No, once you have 40 uranium 235s, you can start reprocessing your 238s into 235s. You just need a certain amount to start up. And it's a pretty slow operation. It takes 50 seconds. So I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do that. It takes 50 seconds, so we don't need any kind of fancy inserter setup. But we will need 2 belts coming in, which we've sort of set up here already. We want to make sure that we never run too low on this dark green stuff, because we will need it 19-to-1 for uranium fuel cells. But the fact that this process is so slow, we might be able to just, maybe our first... Here, let's move this, or just get out of the way. Maybe before we do that, we should have some fuel cell operations going in assembly machines. So this stuff will be making fuel cells. That takes... I don't know how long these are going to last. But we'll have those going there. Like that. And then down the line, we will have our kovarex. Okay, I think we have a layout. We're going to be making use of priority side loaders instead of any kind of really complicated circuit network stuff to make sure we don't run out of the 238, the dark green stuff. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a flaw in the system, but I think this is going to be good to go for a pretty long time. So let's go ahead and... connect up the belts. We need to give it some ore, and then we'll sort of keep an eye on it as it's operating. We need to give it some iron. And there was also these chests full of this stuff, which we can start to transfer over. Oh my gosh. All right, so first thing to do, let's dump all of this miscellaneous, the raw ore I picked up. So we've got this snaking design coming through here. And, oh, that's right, the belts are already full, but we got the snaking design coming through here. It's being fed with the ore, and it's outputting the dark green and the light green. The light green is much rarer. And then the dark green is going to come up through here, and it's going through a priority side loader. I saw this on the subreddit a few weeks ago or something like that, and I really like it. The reason I like it is because that as it fills up, and you'll see this happen as we filter on through, it's going to prioritize one belt over the other as we merge 2 belts. So we're actually merging 2 belts through this, not this splitter, but through this side loader. So all of the stuff coming from the top here and going through the middle is getting priority loaded because it's only going to side load these guys if there's room on the belt for them. And as we cycle through and through and it gets more and more full, it's going to stop accepting stuff from here. So theoretically, that will help us not to run out of stuff. And then let's see. Oh, I don't need that belt there. And I don't need these belts there. Okay, but then we do need to jumpstart the thing with our 235 so that we can start the enrichment. And it's going to spit out all the 235 plus 1. It's going to eat up 3 of the greens and spit out 1 extra bright green one. And then that is going to filter back down through here. And it's just going to go back through this loop. Because the bright greens are so much rarer, it's okay if we have so many bright greens that this belt totally fills up. It will stop our ore processing, but that's okay. Because if we have that many, then we don't really need to process more ore. Okay, there, it went through 1 cycle. It's going to go back around, and it's going to hit up the uranium fuel cells first. And I think I actually maybe need less of these to make sure that our fuel cells don't eat up all of our uranium before these guys get to work. So let's have 1 less just for now until I've seen this thing in action. Oh, there's an issue. Okay. Never connected the belts. I had them disconnected until I was ready to go. Okay, so here we go. We've got the iron on one side and the uranium, the bright green, the 235 on the other. And that's going under here. Oh, this is the wrong direction. Okay, so the bright green is going underneath there. And we're stripping out the bright green so that the iron does not get continued on this belt. It stops right there because this guy is only taking half of the belt, the bottom half. And this guy is going to start operating, and he's going to spit out +1. He's going to take in 40 and spit out 41. There he goes. Okay, slight change. Let's see if this works better. I noticed that this guy was snagging too many of the 235s, the bright greens, so that this guy wasn't running continuously. So I reversed the direction of this output line so it feeds directly back in and hopefully hits up the first guy first. So he's always satisfied. I gave him extra inserters. Let's watch it go. Well, they did not input at all. Hey, what are you guys doing? Hey, you're supposed to take that. Why did you not take... Okay, now I'm confused. I gave you 3 stack inserters. You need to take a thing. They all went there. Okay, progress. I figured out the issue, and as usual, it's not a bug. I just kind of misunderstood what was going on. The problem was that it has 2 outputs, and it had nowhere to put the dark green stuff because the belt was full. So we're going to change things up here a little bit. We're going to give the dark green outputs their own belt. Tell you what, let me, instead of doing that, let me hit the Q button. I need to get in the habit of doing this using the pipette tool. Whenever you see an item on the ground that you want to use and you have it in your inventory, you can hit Q. You need to get in the habit of doing that. It's kind of like a new feature that I still have not got in the habit of. And then we need to give these guys the filter dark green. And we're going to use the priority mergers, splitters guys. So all of those guys are getting moved up here to this belt right here that is not broken with the underground stuff. And it's going up here. It's kind of complicated to look at. But it's going to go straight through, and then the guys that are coming from the uranium processing down there, they are going to go down through here. They're going to get split, and they're going to sideload. So what that means is that I hope I've solved the problem. So now the dark green should always have a place to go, even though, we can watch, even though this belt is totally full. The dark greens are going to go straight through because I've used a priority loader. Look at that, a splitter. I don't know, is there even a technical term? I only saw this on the subreddit like a few weeks ago. And this is a fantastic use for it. Okay, let's watch it go. This guy is going to go straight through, and then the side loaders are going to get loaded afterwards onto the belts. Progress. Okay, perfect. We have fixed the issue. So now I think once I get enough of these loaded, let's just see how my system goes if I load up all of these. If these guys will... Yes! Okay, good. So now I'm so happy that I've made progress. Look how empty this belt looks for a second there until it catches up. So now this guy should pick up all of the bright greens that are coming through, the 235s. Yes. Okay, very nice. Until it is actually doing something. So once we have enough of these going through, and this guy is already operating, the second one will kick into gear. Yeah, okay, I think this is going to work, at least until we run out of dark greens, which is going to take a hell of a long time. Watch it in action. Oh, it's beautiful. We have kovarex saturation. So... I think this thing is going to manage itself. The dark greens, the 238, the outputs, they get priority merged into this overflow line. So they get first priority into this line, so they always get merged. And then this line gets merged, priority merged over the line of 238s, the dark greens, coming from the ore processing area. So they always get first priority to get fed back into here. And if we ever fill this belt up, and we probably will, if we fill this belt up with the bright greens, the 232s, 235s, whatever, the 235s, the bright greens, they always get first priority to this first guy coming through here. But if the belt ever fills up, it will shut down the ore processing, and the fuel cell guys always get first priority. And so the the bright green ones are harder to come by, and they will get used up when we need a fuel cell. And then that'll start this back up, which will start this back up. I think this whole thing is going to regulate itself without any kind of need of circuit condition or anything like that. We'll have to watch it over time, but I think this is a pretty good design. I think it's going to work out for the foreseeable future. All right, so we officially have way more U-235, the bright green stuff, than I'm ever really going to need. This factory is total overkill, but hey, that's the way to play the game, right? So let's try to do something with it, besides from making nuclear bombs, which I haven't researched yet. We'll get there one day. So I remember when they released a blog about the nuclear stuff, they talked about these guys getting better when they were next to each other and multiplying their productivity. I guess it helps them heat each other up. And I see this guy has a neighbor bonus of 0%. So let's use pipette. Hit Q. Bam. Okay, grab another one. Let's put it next to it and see what it does. Neighbor bonus 0%. Maybe that's because they're not actually doing anything. I haven't put a fuel cell in. Let's grab some fuel cells and see what it do. I'll just grab a bunch. Should have a lot. Okay. So let's put just a couple in here. Those should last quite a while. I think like 200 seconds or something per. Aha, neighbor bonus 100%. Okay, that's nice. And then if I give you one, 100%. Okay, pretty cool. Oh, pipette. Okay, so let's put 2 more down. And then give them some fuel cells. Neighbor bonus 200%. Oh, very interesting. Okay, what if we pick that guy up and we put him here? Okay, now what do you got? Neighbor bonus 300%. I wonder what the optimal is, because you're still going to need a space somewhere to lead out some heat pipes. So I guess the most you could have around each other is 3, but then these guys only have 100% bonus. So maybe it just makes the most sense, at least for a starter design. Let's go for 4 of these guys. I don't know if we'll be able to fit them into this space, but we can try. Okay, so then we need to heat up some of these reactor guys. They're not reactors, they are heat exchangers. We need to heat up some of these. So we're just going to be fiddling with designs. So let's just do some little ideas. Maybe we'll just sort of mirror that. Pipette, yes. Okay, I'm gonna get it in my muscle memory to use that stupid pipette tool. All right, I looked over their blog post again when they first announced the nuclear stuff, and they said that each one of these nuclear guys requires 4 of these heat exchangers, but when you have them next to each other, they have a bonus. We have to account for that. So since they all have or they will once I plug them in, why do these guys have 100%? Oh, because you don't have any fuel. Yeah, now they all have 200%. So each of these guys is going to need 12 of these boilers because of the 200% bonus. And then each of these guys, it says they consume 10 megawatts. And the steam turbines produce 5.8. So if we have 12 of these heat exchangers, that's 120 megawatts. And if you divide that by 5.8, I busted out the calculator, you get 20.6. So I think we need, I think this is I think I did the math right. I think we need 20.6 of these guys, or 84, something like that, 82? 82. Yeah, 82. We need 82 of these guys, and I don't think we're going to have enough room here. I just noticed I can run through these heat pipes. Yeah, we're going to need to upgrade to the Mark III factory building. Well, guess what? After trying it out, trying the most space-optimizing layouts I can think of, I think this might actually be possible. I've got all of the turbines there. We've got our 4 reactors, and I currently have 32 of the heat exchangers, so I need 16 more. And I need to be able to route all the pipes, all the heat, these things. I'm assuming that the heat pipes... I don't know how they work, if they have like a maximum distance that they're optimal at. I'm not really sure. So we're just going to test it, and you guys can let me know where I screwed up. that kind of thing. I don't think that's going to work because we don't have room for the heat pipes. This guy doesn't really seem to connect. I don't know if just being directly adjacent works or not, but I don't think this one's going to work. But I'm getting close. That's the good thing. Dun da da da! 6 lines of water coming into our new factory, our nuclear power factory. So I modified this just slightly so that these little fuel cells, they're going on the top side of the belt, and I'll show you why. Because I have figured out the layout. Now, I still don't know exactly how these heat pipes work. I did look them up on the wiki, and apparently, I don't know if this has maybe been changed with one of the 0.15 patches, because they've released like 75,000 of them. But apparently, the way you lay the pipes, the order, is important. So I started here, and I went outwards. Apparently, that's a thing, or at least it was for one of the patches. And so this little squiggly do here, that is very important, so that the expended fuel cell ends up on the outside of this belt, which is still the outside of the belt here. If you just do a simple loop with only one squiggle instead of 2, then it's not going to work because they're going to end up on opposite sides. As soon as this guy ejects a spent fuel cell, you'll see what I mean. But we have the correct number of heat exchangers and the correct number of steam turbines. And as far as I know, the heat pipes are all going to work. The temperatures are climbing, so I guess it's going to take a while for this to ramp up. I guess we can take a look at our power situation. Currently 83 kilowatts. We can turn this thing around, right? Oh, not yet. Not yet. These guys, let's take a look at them. Oh, it looks like we're not currently... It hasn't gotten hot enough yet to produce steam. Okay, so let's give it a minute. It's only up to 280. It needs to get up to 500 degrees, right? And it can get all the way up to 1,000, which I guess gives us a margin of error for how long these heat pipes will go. Like way down here at the end, it's only at 170, but it is climbing. All right, I think we are in business. All of these steam turbines are cooking, although I think these guys will throttle down if they're not being used or we don't have a demand. But these guys will never stop consuming uranium fuel cells. The heat pipes have heated up 900 degrees Celsius there, 790 degrees Celsius there, and still climbing. Our steam seems to be getting produced by all the different guys, and looking at the last row here, they all have basically full amounts of steam. So I think this design works, and it is also tileable, which means that we could put another one of these buildings directly next door. And we would just have to connect up this guy right here, which I left unconnected on this side. But if I just do that, then we could just run these guys right through each other, and then eventually we would peel off the consumed fuel cells here and feed them eventually back into our processing area, where we would use the this guy, the nuclear fuel reprocessing, to turn them into some 238. But we have lots of that. We have lots of 235. We have atomic power, officially awesome. And we are researching the atomic bomb. I think for now what I will do, I don't have power right there, huh? I think what we'll do is just... Oh, I don't have power there either. Let's grab a stack inserter. Just a normal inserter is fine, actually. Let's put those in a chest, and I will reprocess them by hand for a little bit. But let me know if you're very familiar with nuclear power and you see any mistakes I made, or any errors, or any problems that might crop up. I can't walk through this stupid space. I'm too fast. Okay, but I think that's going to be it for the video. Pretty happy with our progress today. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.